So let's bring all of these ideas together. We know that knowing your ACE score can make a difference. If you are recognizing and your doctor recognizes the your history of adverse childhood experiences, we can decrease some of the negative outcomes. We know that there are a number of things that we can do that make a difference. Things like having an engaging hobby, being involved in sports or other physical activity, living in a safe, clean home with enough food, having a school providing resources and experiences needed for learning, having established rules in the home that are clear and fairly administered. In addition, we know that our relationships make a difference. Having someone who loves you unconditionally, having at least one best friend, doing anything regularly to help others, or doing special projects in the community, having an adult other than a parent who you trust and count on when you need help or advice, being an active member of at least one civic group or non-sport social group. We've talked a lot about dysregulated stress responses, but there are things that we can do to help children and adults regulate their stress response so it doesn't, like, go out of bounds. Things like sleeping regularly and getting enough sleep, um, psychotherapy, which helps improve mental health, healthy relationships, regular exercise, eating well, meditating, yoga. So let's just stop and think about, how much sleep do we need? Infants need between 12 and 16 hours a day, which includes naps. Teens, 8 to 10, most of whom are not getting that amount of sleep. Nadine Burke-Harris says, in some people, adversity can foster perseverance, deepen empathy, strengthen the resolve to protect and spark many superpowers. But in all people, it gets under our skin and into our DNA, and it becomes an important part of who we are. We want to recognize that trauma can have both positive and negative effects. We can engage in patient-centered care. We can listen. We can explain, be transparent in our explanations, describing clearly what's going on. We can involve people in the work that we're doing and, our clients in our work. And we can ask them in a way that really helps develop their sense of autonomy and their connectedness in that relationship. So let's think about some of the outcomes. We've talked about Adam Frankel. And he says, obviously, his grandparents and his mother passed on their scars, but they had also passed on their sense of hope, which was both defiant and unbounded. They had not only passed on their trauma, they'd passed on something else, resilience. Jeanette McCurdy says, recovery so far is in some ways as difficult as the bulimic, alcohol-ridden years, but difficult in a different way, because I'm facing my issues for the first time instead of burying them with eating disorders and substances. I'm processing not only the grief of my mom's death, but the grief of a childhood, adolescence, and young adulthood that I feel I had never really been able to live for myself. She was very much a parentified child. It's difficult, but it's a kind of difficult I have pride in. And let's end with Roxane Gay, who acknowledges some of the ways that she hid in response to being raped. But she also says, I grew up and away from that terrible day and became a different kind of mess, a woman doing the best she can to love well and be loved well, to live well and be human and good. And this is what I hope for all of you, who are listening to this. Find ways that even if terrible things have happened to you, find ways that you can come to terms with that mess, to live well, to be human, to be good. Take care. Goodbye.